Welcome back. So I want to just talk briefly about file naming right here because we actually have not a problem, but we have something that's in my mind annoying. So I want to talk about the name I chose for my shared file, for my file interface. It's just called file right here, but the truth is there's no file right here actually, it's just metadata. So I want to change that. Now that's one thing. Another reason that I want to change it is if you try and go into the service, just to kind of show you a problem right here, I'm going to make a function called upload. It's going to have a file that I'm going to pass from the outside. Now I want this file right here to actually be the metadata, right? And also I want this file right here to be the actual file I want to upload, if that makes sense. I want that to be both. So the problem is that I have a file right here, but this file is actually not the file that we talked about over here. It's not the same. If I go and I command click this or control click it, you'll see that this is actually another file. This is not mine. It's something that was declared somewhere else. This file right here, default, because of the same name, it's actually from the DOM setup that Angular provides. So if I open right here, you'll notice that there's one called lib.dom.d.ts, and that's actually where the file is coming from. So you have to be aware of your naming when you use simple names like file and some of the other basic names out there. You might end up with a bad name like mine right here because file is not a good name, because now I can still use my interface if I want to, but now I'll have to start importing things manually because, well, the IntelliSense just won't help me because the name is the same. But you can import it manually by saying I want this not from the DOM that I just showed you, but I actually want it from a local reference inside the current folder. This pretty much just means inside the folder that this file is also in. I want from the file, TS file right here, I want to get that file. So you can do it like this if you want to, and then I'll still point now to that actual interface that I made myself, right? But still the truth is, this is not a file, this is actually just some metadata about a file. So I want to have both. I want to call this a metadata file, or file meta or something, and then I also want to be able to get the actual file that I want to upload. So let's just get rid of this for now and go and rename our file right here. So instead of calling it file, I'm going to call it file metadata, like this. So it's the metadata for the file, or the extra information, call it what you want, for that file, and that's what I want instead. I'm also going to rename it here and call it file meta instead, so that we know that's also the metadata. Refactor rename file metadata. There we go. There we go. And actually, let's just call this lowercase d because I just like that naming better. So here we go. Now we have an interface called file metadata containing the metadata that I want to share somewhere else. Then we actually have a real file. If I go back to my service, you'll notice I can now again use, if I do the upload, here's my goal. We can just end that with actually making this method. Next lesson, I want to kind of do this upload. And there we're going to send in the metadata and also the actual file that we want to upload when we actually start uploading this file right here. So this is actually the file we have. And what I want to return from this call is actually an observable that's going to contain the file metadata, right? File metadata. There we go. So that's a lot easier now. Now notice it could autocomplete for me. It could go and get the file where it should, and everything works now automatically a lot better than what I had before because I picked a bad name. So very important stuff that you guys consider the naming you give your classes and your files, so that you don't end up polluting or working with same names that are already inside the system, right? So now my goal is going to be kind of sending in the file that I want to upload. Now this file is actually again from, let's just show you guys, from this lib right here, libdom.d.ts, where this file, the metadata I'm going to return when I'm done, is actually going to be from my own file called file metadata. So that was just a small change right here, but it's a lot easier for me to now read my code and see this is the actual file that I want to upload, the actual physical file that I want to upload, where this is just some metadata, some extra information about the file that I want to save somewhere else, in my case in Firebase. So that's it for this lesson. See you next time. We'll try and upload an actual file.